So I don't see Twitter could benefit society in any means. What do you think, Pope?
Has our learning become so scattered and so scarred, or is it because this age is fewer people but more sheep? Speaking with only 102 score words, but I suppose it's just as long as their small wits can keep.
I actually believe that with Twitter, one thing is good is that you're being confined in a space and not being able to go out and experience the world, and having to stay within the common sitting room and just writing based on what society brings to me. I believe that you're able to actually go out and spread your ideas to others. But at the same time, Twitter is so narrow and insignificant towards what could be brought to society and all the important things that women could say and men can say as well. So I believe, yes, you can go beyond and experience more by introducing to other people, but your better ideas are not set out.
So I guess we would agree that Twitter, it's pointless and it doesn't benefit society at all.
It could be done better.
In what ways could it be done better?
It could be done better like blogging. I love blogging. Number one, blogging doesn't show whether or not you're a gender based on what you believe in and what you put out.
Yeah, and now we move to the point of blogging, which is completely away from Twitter, which is just, I think, 150 characters or so. I wouldn't know. Plato might, but I don't.
140.
Oh, 140. Thank you.
That's not enough for me. It's not enough for me.
It's not enough for
Why
me
is
either.
that?
I feel like with Twitter, there's no great emotion. There's limits. I feel like it hinders a person from in a small space. It doesn't allow them to release pure feelings.
It confines them, right?
Yeah, it confines them. And I think with blogging, I love blogging. That's where I do my journals. I feel like I have room, time to create meaningful pieces, basically coming from my soul, and it amplifies. And I feel like with amplification, you can feel sublimity with the words I use and the topics I write about, and I feel like it's personal to me. It may not, and I'm basically sharing my experiences, like with meaning, with.
You can even use noble diction, and you can talk about nature, like within Twitter and within Facebook.
Yeah.
You can't talk about those things because people want to kind of conform more towards like the vanity part, like the vain things and the ignoble thoughts of others, and they get consumed in that. But I mean, you could talk about nature and go beyond with blogging.
But I would agree with you guys in the way that blogging, it's a way where you can express yourself in a more meaningful way. I believe that blogging is not far from what we do as writers. We write our thoughts, but in a longer and more meaningful way. For example, every person in the world fantasizes, whether we like to admit it or not, just like children do. And what blogging does, it's a space where we can fantasize in a correct way, where everyone can understand what we like and what we don't like, and therefore use blogging as a way to express ourselves and to fulfill our dreams.
But who's to say that blogging isn't any less self-serving than Facebook, for that matter? Because nothing goes unchecked in regular blogging. Anyone can have an account. The drunken scoundrel on the side of the street could post endless rants upon the pages of his blog, and yet that still would contribute no positive, outlook on society except to indulge, in this crackpot's, his own thoughts, ideas, or crazy ambitions.
But that's where people have to understand the right stuff they had to read and the wrong stuff. What could benefit them and what cannot benefit them.
But people are an ignorant mass.
True, but what makes you believe that not anyone can just write a piece of paper and publish it or give papers away to people? And
they have editors and big institutions that require criticism of your piece, where on the internet none of that goes about. Anyone can do it. Any untrained crappy bloke can post whatever he wants.
I completely agree with you. Like I know that my husband and I own a printing press, and we actually do have to proofread and go over other people's ideas, but yet that they are entitled to those. One thing that I do believe is that with blogging, women can get their major works put out there, but at the same time, they're hindered by those who, we want the same level of respect, but we're hindered by other women who decide to write about things that actually belittle women. So it kind of contradicts itself. So that time it is hard to try and move forward with blogging when other women kind of push other women down.
But I believe that everyone should have the skill and desire and time to fulfill their dreams. And to fulfill their dreams and talk about their fantasies, they need blogging. It's a place where we as human beings can fantasize. What do you think, Pope? You haven't really said much about the subject of blogging.
Now, the long form that is provided by the blog is far preferred to the insipid meekness of tweets. A criticism without space is seen as if through a fog. Ideas are presented and quickly die or retreat. A critic in a cage is not free to explore and find the far-flung limits of the art. Judgment of a work in part I deplore. Instead, understanding of the whole is a good place to start. Although hate is a strong word, I would see Twitter die, but that makes us unique as a common housefly. Blogging allows for so much more, though. The critic's mind can be turned like a vein. Speaking on painting, posing, and art I do not know, a sea of knowledge over a digital plane. I apologize if my words seem prosaic, or worse, or boring. I may build understanding with mortar and brick, if you would allow me an extended metaphor.
Yes, that's fine. Go ahead. We're all smart people.
The internet is like a sea in a storm, a wide open place that surrounds all lands, where art and critics move to and fro like a swarm, bringing their criticisms and their art to far sands. Thankfully, these seas are deep and treacherous. Critique in art, like sailing, is no mere sport. With strong winds driven by the whim of the populace, not all ships are meant to find a welcoming port. In these dark waters, the best ships will float. They'll ride high on the waters and defy damnation. The holds filled with bursting, with new ideas row. They deliver this cargo honored by their destination. The exotic spices are cherished, not slandered, for the mental nourishment they impart. New criticism gives new flavors to old standards, and bring new understanding to old art. But this is only half of the play, since bold new works is where the artists start. New criticism shines like the sun in the day, but lights not the land, but the heart.
Those are long words, but very insightful.
What carefully crafted fluff, my friend. Surely you took what took 4 lines to say, you've taken 20 or so. And that I do give you credit for.
Pat on the back. Good job.
Yeah, good job, Alex. You have done an absolutely awesome job at explaining what blogging does. But now, Plato, we have made a completely good and arguable point that blogging is good for society. How would you contradict that?
Still, I think you're all wrong, because instead of just letting the best people who deserve to be the writers and the cultivators of new ideas, you're letting people who are influenced by ignorant and misogynistic media.
But people themselves will have the chance to decide who those good writers are, and not just the editors.
You're right, but that's almost guaranteed that those people are going to be self-serving, ignorant blokes who are only going to bring down the state with their corruptive desires and lusts.
Well, I guess it is safe to agree that we are all in the right place.
Oh, Socrates! How's it going? Toga party in the Parthenon tonight? I could probably catch a later flight, but you know what? I will see you there. Let me get a couple of cracks of wine, and we'll see where it goes from there. I'm gonna have a lunch date, but yeah, I'll see you there. All right, later, Socrates.
Oh, so you have plans for tonight, Plato?
Yeah, toga party in the Parthenon, you know.
Well, you know, it's been getting late, and I'm getting really hungry.
Well,
and I'm gonna go get myself a $5 foot-long Subway.
I think you should work on your paper.
Oh, I will work on it while I'm eating my awesome sandwich.
I'll come with you. $5 Subway foot-longs on me.
That's what I'm talking about, Longinus. Alright, guys. I guess I'll talk to you guys later.